Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Samuel64, and welcome to the RoboCast. I'm joined alongside as ever.
And as 9132 the Wars Guru.
And Ian the American Killjoy.
Shout out to the hardcore podcast there.
Thanks,
Yeah. Thanks for that, boys and girls. We do actually have to say a big thank you, first of all, to everyone who liked, shared, viewed everything to the Ultimate Preview we did 2 weeks ago now. It is now officially our highest viewed podcast ever, and it's even higher than that stupid every spinner in Series 10 video that I did as well, which is crazy. I didn't think that would ever be beaten, but I think it's up to 6,500 views now, so that's crazy. So thank you.
The meme actually got beaten.
I know. It's crazy. So thank you ever so much for that. And it really is humbling. And
thank you for putting up with us waffling and being stupid
for 4 hours. God
4
damn.
hours. I mean,
4 hours well spent, I guess.
you guys are the real MVP. You
Yeah,
really.
yeah, absolutely. We actually have something else to talk about first before we get on to the main topic of discussion today, and that is there is a live stream. There is a live stream happening on BattleBots' very own Twitch page, which is very exciting.
It was a video game, man. I got a little let down. I was
It's
excited.
It's not quite a video game, but I will say I'm very excited to see it. Even though it's going to be up at like 4:45 a.m. UK time, that's perfect for me because that's when I wake up for work. But for most people who are normal,
It's shite for me.
yeah, you're in a world of trouble. You are, Anderson. But basically, it's a fight card of 10 robots, just a general lark about before the main BattleBots series starts on Friday. So this is actually being uploaded on the Thursday, and then on the Friday is when the main series starts in the US. It will be up around early Saturday morning for the UK and Europe. Should we have a look at the fight card for that first? I mean, I certainly want to have a look at that first before we crack on to anything.
It's being built. It's being built as an all-star.
Yeah.
Set up here, and
sort of like a pre-season sort of thing.
Oh, stop it!
Wait, listen, you can't say anything about Chomp beat Bite Force.
Oh, piss the fuck off.
Anyway.
Yeah, obviously the main talking point is the biggest rematch of all time, probably in BattleBots so far between Tombstone and Witch Doctor, which for my 2 cents I'm really excited for, because that was really, really close the first time, and it was just that Witch Doctor got flipped over that they lost.
Yep.
They can self right now, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a war of attrition.
It's gonna be a nice rematch. I'll be honest. Prediction time. So
predictions.
I think Tombstone will win.
I also think Tombstone will still win, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be very close. Free shipping against Bronco, I think, is going to be interesting. It's gonna be incredible. But I think it's gonna go free shipping's way.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna side on. I don't know, man. That's a tough one because it's. I don't think it's gonna be hard to knock free shipping out. I think it can still run upside down, just not perfectly.
I think it's self-right. I think it can self-right.
Yeah. It can self-right?
I believe the arm goes far enough back for it to self-right.
Alright, as long as
or at least like able to drive on its side, or it was kind of like how it did last season.
Yeah. All right. You know what? 3-way free shipping. Let's do it.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's all down to Gary Gordon's driving. Get it? Gordon's garage in. Yeah, sorry. No. Yeah, I think cause obviously Bronco's got the severely exposed sides as proved last.
And its turning circle isn't the greatest. It kind of turns like a tank.
That's even attestable to the toy. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
I just played around. I have one here. It's hard to turn.
It is hard to turn.
I'm being realistic, I mean.
Yeah, Hexbug. By the way, how cool do the Hexbug Bite Force and Blacksmiths look? Just as a bit of a side. No, not me. I mean, they're not able. Not even the last Witch Doctor and Bronco set are available in the UK yet. I really want to get them, but.
See, this is why America can be evil at times.
Yeah, they can be. They really can be. We'll move on to the next fight, which is going to be Bite Force and Ice Wave. Bite Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough to go against.
I will say,
here.
Ice Wave has the reach advantage, and I think if they could get a solid hit on that weapon bracket, it could stand a good chance. But I can only see it going one way.
Yeah, I could just see Bite Force driving forwards and just flipping it over basically with its spinner.
That's where my mind goes, honestly. I do see Bite Force taking a good lick, but then Ice Wave going upside down, and
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
It's
Nice to see Ice Wave, you know.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're gonna get to see it at least, not in the main
Yeah.
season, but at least we're gonna see it. It's great. Same thing with Chomp as well. Like as much as it's not in the main season, I'm glad it's gonna be there.
Cannot freaking escape that robot, can I?
I will say, I'm really excited to see how Scorpius and Chomp goes, because I think that'll be a really fun fight. No one's gonna get too battered that they're gonna be swept out, but it's gonna be a good fight.
Yes.
And Scorpius is gonna win it.
Yeah, Scorpius is going to win it, obviously, but I can see it being, at least as far as spectacle's concerned, a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Apologies if you heard a system noise there come through. I don't know why that happened. Coming up next.
Your computer's rubbish.
Yeah, it really is. Next up is Lockjaw and Whiplash, which I think there's a great photo of a young Matt Vasquez and Donald Hudson when they're at the old Comedy Central BattleBots tournament, and obviously they get to fight each other now for the first time, I think.
Yeah. This is basically the third and fourth place playoff that never happened.
Yeah, exactly. This is which is really great. I really want to see that this fight, and I think it'll be good fun. I think these two very fast machines, and
very well driven.
Yeah, very well driven as well.
Yes.
I'm
Student versus the master.
Yeah, possibly. I'm gonna go with Lockjaw. I'll tell you why. Because I like the color scheme. I don't know. It's a flip of a coin. It's a flip of a coin. This one for me, it really is, because I'm really struggling to find a winner out of those two. I really am.
For me, I'm actually going to say Lockjaw as well, just because I think its spinner's more potent.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, Whiplash is a great control bot, but Lockjaw is very quick and very well driven, and I think Donald will be able to get around the sides and get those big hits in. So I'd say Lockjaw.
And I'm gonna go, not just trying to be different, but I'm gonna go Whiplash. I do see Lockjaw. I think this is gonna go the distance. So I mean, given that, it's hard, because because all I think about is Lockjaw made it to the Final Four last time, and
but so did Whiplash.
It still sticks with me. Yeah, I know.
So the thing is, I think this is going to come down to who's lower.
Yeah,
and who can get under who.
Sometimes that's kind of the mantra of a lot of fights, like whose wedge is lower.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be a great fight either way. And I think all 5 of these fights are going to be fantastic. Like there's not going to be one fight.
This is as close as we're getting to BattleBots Extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely. But I'm so excited to see how it turns out, because it's all going to be live. You're going to see everyone's going to see it at the same time. It's going to be great. There's going to be chats going on. It's going to be everyone's going to get the same reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be cool.
It's going to be gold.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I'll try and catch what I can before I start work. But we'll see what we see how we get on. Anyway.
I'll be asleep.
Yeah, you will be asleep. Anyway, let's talk about what we actually came here to talk about, which is our predictions for the top 16 of BattleBots 2019.
I thought we were here to talk about Love Island. Well, that was
Oh.
next time maybe.
I mean, going into the villa next is Tombstone. He's a big boy. He's a 250-pound monster. He's been known to
bar spinner.
He's been known to smash a few people in his time. Let me tell you.
Or would you look at that now? Donald Hudson's been pied. But he's feeling proper mugged off.
At this point, everyone has clicked off the video and clicked off.
Yeah.
I can only apologise for a segue into Love Island. I'll be honest, I've never actually watched Love Island, and I don't intend to watch it this season.
I have no idea what you guys are on about. I'm just here smiling.
It's a terrible UK show. It's gonorrhea.
Put it on my bucket list of things to watch.
You like an STD, you feel like dirty. Anyway,
no.
Let's with BattleBots, which
BattleBots. BattleBots 2019's top 16. We've we kind of did our big preview a couple of weeks ago where we kind of ambiguously said, hey, this robot's quite good. They could get in the top 16 if they get a good draw. And we kind of we didn't really sit on the fence as such, but we didn't commit to it like a full-on top 16, which we are about to do now. This is we've kind of we've backed and forth, and we've all kind of narrowed it down to about 30, which we think could get in the top 16, and then we've had to like fully commit to it. So
had to start breaking some hearts at some point.
yeah, exactly.
To make up for it, we actually have we even decided to basically have 5 hopefuls that we hope make it through, but don't think will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Try to give us a little bit more breathing room, because I know there's going to be some people that say, why didn't you pick this one, or why didn't you pick this one? There's too many. This is like what's my favorite kid? You know what I mean? Like, put me in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm excited to see. You know, we all kind of want everyone to succeed in their own way, but like we trying to narrow it down is very tough. It's very tough.
Best we could. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let Anderson go first with his bubble 5. You know, because I feel like it's an Anderson day today.
Oh, thank you very much there. So obviously, Mad Hatter's in there, just because it's brilliant. I love the name. Not Mad Hatter, Mad Catter. Sorry, I'm going mad. Either way,
the Mad
Got
Hatter.
the theme right.
yeah. No, I just like the idea because it's got multiple weapons.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that go through. Hydra. The reason I put Hydra in there is 1, it looks cool, and 2, it was between this and another robot that I thought would get through to the top 16, and I picked the other one over this. I'll get to that later. But so obviously this one I don't quite think will make it, but I still would like to see it go through. Tantrum, because they've really tried their hardest to bring something different to the package this time around, and whilst I don't think it's going to work for them, I'd love to see something original and different do well. 4 is Kraken, because it looks cracking. Hey. And 5, and last but by no means least, is Extinguisher, because fire trucks are awesome, and that thing looks brilliant. It looks like great fun, and again, it's something different to the pile. So it would be nice to see them go far, but I don't see it happening, sadly.
Oh well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Not a bad list. Oh, I'm up. My turn.
Yep, Steve's go.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get this out of the way. It's hard, because it's like these 5. Like I'd like to see them in there, but I just think they're gonna come up short. My first one is Breaker Box. I love the design. I know Jim's been very successful in the live scene with it. I just think it's gonna come up short. It's just too stacked to a field. My next one is Endgame. I just looking at pictures of it, it's such an upgrade from the previous one, but I think just like last year, it's just gonna come up short. But I do think we're gonna get a lot of good fights out of them. 3 is Gigabyte. I do think it's gonna be a much improved version, but I do see I get flashbacks to season 3 and it breaking down and it becoming an arena hazard more than a robot. So I just, maybe if it gets those little niggles out of it, you know what I mean, like those little tweaks and things, maybe it'll work, but I just see it just missing. Another one I have is Gruff. I do have a soft spot for this robot. I do know the builder. He's a really nice guy. His robot did really well at RoboGames. I just think the field is more stacked this time than a RoboGames would be. And my last one, maybe a surprise, is Rainbow. Rainbow's real powerful. It may get shunted around a lot, and I think that's what's going to cause it to miss out a spot. But that weapon is not to be talked about lightly. I think we're going to see a lot of good fights from these little cutesy robots, as we call them. I think you're going to see a lot more out of these robots. I just think it's going to get small and shunted, but I think that weapon's scary enough to at least cause a few surprises. So that's my 5.
Interesting. Okay, so for my 5, I've gone for on the bubble. I've gone for P1, which is the racing car inspired machine from the Parallax team from last season. I think it just looks really solid, and I think it's going to be difficult to take down and beat essentially. Yeah. Death Roll from Australia, I think is again they've got such experience now from King of Bots as well, where they I think they finished top 4 over there. Controversially, I think they were beaten by one of the Chinese teams, and I think they've got a point to prove, and they've got a really nasty looking spinner, really solid looking machine as well. I'm really excited to see how they get on. Mm-hmm. Valkyrie, we said last season, they improved fight after fight after fight. And by the end of the season, it was well dialed in. They've obviously got their own, I think, is it featherweights that they have as well, which are similar design. So they're used to the design as well now. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be really tough to beat come late season. I've also gone for Kraken, Anderson. I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear. because Kraken is fantastic, and a bit of a spoiler to come up where we might have Matt Spurk joining us for this weekend, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Very exciting indeed. And my last one on the bubble, and this might surprise both of you. I don't see it make it in, but I think it will be there or thereabouts. Is Quantum?
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think not that it's going to get found out because it's going to be a great machine either way, but like I don't think it's as competitive as people think it is, and I think it's going to just fall short. It'll be around that kind of ballpark, but it won't be, you know.
I'm gonna guess and say the 2 BBQ fights sway that for you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe got a little
To
exposed
be
there.
fair, 2BBQ is fit.
That's a big old
gorgeous
honking spinner.
robot.
That is a big old honking spinner. That is.
Oh, I just thought of a robot I could have put in the belt. See, this is what I mean. Like there's so many more I should. Anyway, whatever.
Oh, there's loads I could have put in there. I could have put the.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take this spot right. When you've heard my top 16, the rest of the field could be in the bubble. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. It is literally that close. It is literally that close. Anyway.
Could have put Whirlpool 70 in there, man.
Oh no. Let's not even go there. Good lord.
Mate,
Anyway.
this one's for Owain. Right, Maximus.
All right. Binky's in there as well. Yep. All right. Realistically. Yeah. Dr. Fist. Jesus Christ. Anyway. So my top 16. I've gone for your usual big hitters in Tombstone. For obvious reasons, they're fantastic. Bite Force is in there for me. Because again, it's just a wonderful machine, and I think it's going to be so tough to beat.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for Minotaur. I think there'll be a big contender again, and obviously the redesign is just it just seems a lot more refined than last season, I think. So they'll be knocking on the door once again of the Giant. I can't see them being too far off the title itself. I'm going to omit Bronco.
Oh no! Well, that's it. We've lost our
RoboCast is cancelled, lads. This is it, lads. This is it. No. So my reasoning behind this is, I just feel like this is the season where they drop out. Like they were close to dropping out last season. I mean, they were fortunate to get past Warhawk. I felt because Warhawk, with a bit more fortune, would have beaten them. I'm fairly confident because Bronco was struggling early on in that fight, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But it was.
Yeah, but Bronco was literally won all 4 of his fights easily, though.
It did,
but
but,
I mean,
but
that's
if
where I'm sitting. You know
but
what I mean?
if you look at their opponents, okay, you look at their opponents. You have Duck, which isn't going to damage it, but it'll push it around, but it isn't going to damage it. You have Sawblaze, which isn't going to damage it. It'll push it around, but isn't going to damage it. Lockjaw, which had receiver issues or transmitter issues throughout the fight, and I don't think was given a fair crack of the whip. I think both robots were struggling in that fight, but I think Bronco were fortunate to beat Lockjaw on that occasion. I think Lockjaw, had it been fully working, would have beaten them. And who was their other opponent? I can't remember.
Bombshell.
And yeah, we know
did it.
yeah, we
That thing
know
got yeeted.
we know the problems that Bombshell had throughout last season, right?
Right.
So
This is interesting because it's been in the top 4 bracket wise every year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's always been seeded in the top, somewhere in the top 4 every season.
yeah, but if you look at season 2 or the 2016 season, I think they only finished in the top 8. They lost to Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously last year they lost to Whiplash. Whiplash just battered them. It was amazing to watch. So I'm going to omit Bronco for that reason. Whiplash I will put into the top 16 though. I think they'll be right up there. I think challenging for the title itself. Really don't. I can see them doing really well. Excuse me. Sawblaze I have in the top 16 because again they've just improved so much, and obviously it's based now heavily based off Jamie's 30-pounder Megatron.
Yeah,
or
very much so.
Yeah, it's obviously even got the kinetic energy spinner now as well, so it can dish out the big hits as well as control the fight. Free shipping. I think this season is going to have a big season. It's obviously very much more similar to Original Sin, probably the most successful combat robot in ever.
Yeah.
It's won so many fights over the years, and I think it will be a tough one to beat this time around. While I don't think Bronco will make the top 16, I do think Hydra will.
Interesting.
Ooh.
There's your first
There's my
big jump.
yeah. I think Hydra will be the best of the Waiachi machines, and I think it will be the only one of the Waiachi machines to get into the top 16.
Okay.
I think it's such a cool looking machine, isn't it? I mean, let's be real. It looks the part, and from what the videos have shown online, it really can chuck things around really easily. So it's going to be exciting to watch. That's for sure.
It's gonna be interesting to see a hydraulic flipper.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very common thing. I don't remember any of them. Somebody can tell me. Please tell me in the comments if there's ever been a hydraulic flipper like that before.
Last one I remember was probably Gravedigger. I don't know.
We're talking like going back years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
hydraulic flippers aren't very frequent. I don't think. Again, correct us if we're wrong out there. Comments, I'm sure you will do.
But from the videos, it's strong. It's very strong.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Chronic that was entered by the Apollo team. I think that was a hydraulic one.
Again,
obviously it didn't qualify, but it wasn't going to be a hydraulic one.
Sure.
That's still a fight we're missing, BattleBots. I'd love to see that thing in the arena one time.
One time, or one Brit flipper. I want to see how it would do, just for morbid curiosity.
That's one thing. Like I'm sad we don't have like an eruption style flipper. You know what I mean? Like,
we are country of the flipper. Don't mention that robot again on this podcast, please, Steve. We don't talk about that.
Oh no! Scorpius, I think will also get into the top 16.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think both Scorpius and Sawblazer get in there. I think Scorpius has again had a big leap forward. I think that reprofiled front end with like the bigger, points to hold people in place. I think it's going to be really effective because it reminds me an awful lot of Voltronic and Voltark from previous, from seasons gone by.
Okay.
And I really think that's going to, help them out, and it's going to do cause a lot of problems for other teams in the arena. I really do.
Hey,
Moving on, we have the first Brit team. I think Cobalt will get into the top 16.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, their success is well documented around the world. They've won in China, they've won in the UK. Surely the Americas is to follow. Well,
come on, we've got to take America next. Come on.
Surely. I think it's going to be it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close.
Will a UK machine win a title before a Brazilian team?
We will see. Maybe we'll see this season. Who knows?
After all their attempts, bless them.
I know.
Sorry, lads, we'll just take that. See you
Yeah,
next year.
that'd be very sad, wouldn't it? It'd be very sad. I'm going to go for a risk here, and it's a hammer. I'm going to go for Shatter.
Oh, right, okay.
I say Shatter because I think of all the hammers in the field, I think these guys are the most experienced. Mega Melvin is a very refined machine. The Mechanim wheel is going to really help the maneuverability around the arena. They've got such a pedigree of, massively hitting hammers. Mm-hmm. It looks the part as well. It looks fantastic.
That thing hits hard.
Yeah, and underneath all the the angled prism armor, whatever it is, I can't remember the exact term for it, but underneath all the angled armor, it is just a titanium, solid machine. It's not it's no slouch. I'm actually going to put Breaker Box in my top 16, unlike Steve.
Okay.
So I think Breaker Box has got again good pedigree in the live circuit. It did okay in China, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So possibility of getting into the top 16.
Yeah, I can see why you would pick it. See, that was one of those teams where I kept kind of putting them in and out with another couple of bots here in my list. So it's I mean. Yeah,
I said they're on my bubble, so like they're towards the bottom of my list of guaranteed teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to put in Copperhead.
Okay.
I think the experience that Zach Goff has now got of going to China and competing. I think he won over there, didn't he? With Spicy Newt? Spicy Newt. I think that was the name of his robot. I can't remember for the life of me. I think it's something like that. But obviously Poison Arrow as well did pretty well last time. It didn't disgrace itself. It lost to, was it Bombshell in the end that ooted it?
Yeah, I believe so.
So there's no disgrace there. No disgrace there.
I mean, they had some good wins. I mean, they beat
that
Waiachi,
great hit.
Everyone thought it was coming back to win, so including Steve.
Yeah, Steve. You have to take the L on that one, mate.
No, you're never going to do that. Mate, I've still got to live with Hobgoblin, yo. You are struggling here, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, at least Orte moved, unlike Hobgoblin.
I'm also gonna put Duck in the top 16.
Oh wow, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting
Our
that from you, Sam.
360
Yeah,
plows.
again, it's just so solid.
Yeah.
It's solid, fam.
And the thing is with
enter a full aluminum billet and just put it in the arena and see if somebody beats it.
well, this is it. Like, you know, last season, you know, Tombstone couldn't kill it. It was still working. It's just the wheels fell off. This season, the wheels are more protected, right?
I mean,
so
that's any great idea. It's all good until the wheels fall off.
exactly. The wheels came off their challenge, but I don't think they will this time. I think they'll survive.
Yeah.
So that leaves me with two more. That leaves me with two more. One of which I think, you know, I've gone back and forth about this one. Having seen more photos of Huge, I think Huge has got a better chance than I thought in the preview, because they've actually got grips on their wheels now.
Yeah, they've gone the Gabriel route.
Yeah, they have the weight for it. So I think Huge are a dark horse to get into that top 16. I really, you know, the more I think about it, like, it's obvious to me that they should be in there because they were so strong last season, and you know nothing could barely hurt it. Well, this is it. You know, they had spindly wheels. The wheels are much thicker this year as well.
Yeah, that extra circle really is increasing the stiffness of those wheels. Yeah, that was a big problem last year.
Exactly. You know, I think Huge are, you know, I may have been too critical on Huge. I think Huge have got a great chance of being in the top 16.
Mm.
And my last entry, and I think a potential Desperado winner, maybe. I'm trying to think outside the box here. You know, who might end up in that kind of position. You know, maybe they'll prove me wrong and they'll end up, you know, blowing me away. But I've gone for Hypershock.
Ooh, that was one that I bounced around with for a while.
Because it's a good machine. It just needs to work.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. That's the one thing that I had a hard time. Like, I mean, Will's a cool guy. I've talked to him. He's a really nice guy. I want to have faith in his machines, man.
Well, the thing is, it's not drastically altered from last season.
Right.
My thinking is maybe that will help.
The thing with me is the plow. It's too similar to Witch Doctors, and we know how that buggered up Witch Doctor.
From last year.
With that said, though, with Witch Doctor last season, the spinner didn't have that much protrusion, whereas Hypershock definitely does. It's a lot more. You know, it will get a lot more engagement with the weapon.
I love Hypershock. I think it's a great machine.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening myself. Spoiler for my list, but
well, it's on his.
Well, you know, that was a good segue. We'll Anderson, talk us through your top 16. You know, I think I've been fairly conservative, but
yeah,
not bad.
There are a few similarities actually. I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously, Bite Force is in there for me. Tombstone, because it's Tombstone. Minotaur, again, because it's Minotaur. I have said Bronco, and that's because the way obviously you were saying, oh, you know, it was lucky because of this, that, and the other. For me, against Lockjaw, yes, Lockjaw was struggling, but so were Bronco, and they were able to overcome those odds.
True.
You said that all that Sawblaze and Duck can do was just control it, but those two machines are control/push bots, and they weren't able to do that much to it. So that's the way I look at it that way. And of course, well, you know, we all know what happened to Bombshell. So I've gone for Bronco. I don't think it's going to win. But I can see it securing a place in the top 16. However, I think for the first time ever, it's not going to be seeded in the top 4 bracket. So
there
we go. Got to go for Cobalt, obviously. Okay. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful machine. It's doing it for Britain. There we go. I'm with you on this one, Sam. I've gone for Breaker Box as well.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a very solid machine. It was between Breaker Box and Duck for me. And I just think that the plow being just a plow works better than it being an overhead axe as well. So that's my logic behind that. And I think it might be a bit more solid. So that's just me. Unlike you, however, I have gone for Quantum to go into the top 16. Because I mean, I know it's not Spectre, but it's close enough. Come on. And I can see it doing well in the battle box. End game I've gone for because this year it's got a Shremek. That's the only thing that let it down last time around was no Shremek. This time it has one, so I can't see it failing to get to that part. Yeah. Sawblaze because it's Sawblaze. They've really beefed it up as well. The weapon and the plow. The plow looks sick this year. So, and again, it was between them and Scorpios. For me, Scorpios. Okay, yeah, it's got the new like points like you said, and they have beefed up the machine as well. I just think it's still a bit too exposed. Meanwhile, Sawblaze, that thing is literally a brick wall coming at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple of different plow attachments for the front of that too, not just the full fork design. So there's some variety there.
Exactly, yeah. So more tactical. So that's why I'm going for Sawblaze. Of course, Whiplash is in there. Matty Vasquez is a fantastic driver, and I can easily see him getting back into the top 16 again. A little bit of a wild card one. This one, Bloodsport.
Interesting. Okay.
It's I just simply because I see it as an Ice Wave replacement.
Gotcha.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, they are very similar machines, yeah.
I'm not one of these people who just turns around and says, "Oh my God, bar spinners are the same," because obviously every robot's different. But
this is from the BattleBots of all verts are the same. So I mean, come on.
Exactly. So I mean, for me, Bloodsport, it has the look to it. It looks good. I'm pretty certain that thing can give you a good kick in if
it's
it needs.
It's a killer hockey puck, man.
Exactly.
It's a killer bloody hockey puck.
Exactly.
What's not to love? I mean, and as well as that, right? The team has got experience on their side as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Exactly. And we all know the Blackhawks rule. Obviously Valkyrie as well for me.
Really?
I did originally think to myself. Did I say it in the preview? I'm not too sure. I did think I said. If I didn't, I'm sorry. If I did, I'm an idiot. But I thought I said that I didn't see it going into the top 16. But thinking about it, I actually do see it going there this time. But I'm thinking along the same lines as you, Sam, with Hypershock. I'm thinking Desperado.
Okay.
So I'm thinking they'll lose one or two big fights against real tough opponents, and then they'll be given a chance in a Desperado or a last chance Rumble, and I think they'll get it there.
Yeah. Which they were in last time, and they kind of disappeared in the end. So hopefully, maybe if it gets that far, let's see.
I think they end up getting pushed into Gigabytes at some point. So
yeah,
they're kind of unlucky.
Oh yeah.
Railgun Max doing it for the Egg Beaters.
Ooh, Chinabot.
Yes, I do think. I mean, just this thing is. It was between this and Copperhead, but I went for this. Because I just think it's a better machine. Really, that's just me. I'm not being a dick when I say that. That's just how I think it is. And I just, you got to have an Egg Beater in there. And of all the Egg Beaters, I thought this one looks like the most potent one. So I've gone for Railgun Max.
Got to make up that Hobgoblin pick,
Oh yeah.
The memories are flooding back.
I hate you. Last two. Now this one was again one of you guys had it in your bubble, but you didn't think it would go through. I have decided that with a better knowledge of where they're getting their parts from, I'm going to say Gigabyte do actually make it through to the top 16 this time around. That's a very, very brave thing to say, considering how, let's be fair, how crap they were last time around.
I think last season they as we mentioned in the preview, the fact that they had a split team, and as well as that, they kind of
how well did they do in China?
They came
They came third in China.
Yeah, they came third in China.
That.
But
so that to me, and let's be fair, I mean, King of Box is basically just the Chinese BattleBots.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. That's literally what it is. So I'm going to say Gigabyte. I think this time with a better, because obviously the whole team's there this time.
Yeah, I think so.
So obviously there'll be more than the work on it. I think they've learned their lesson from last time with some of the parts, and they'll have, because I mean these guys are known for being brilliant, and to have such a dismal season, they're going to really try hard to make sure that doesn't happen again this time.
By their high standards, they were poor last season, weren't they?
Yeah, they've had two dismal seasons. You had Invader, which died, and then you had Gigabyte, which really ended up.
Maybe it's their time.
Maybe.
And then last but not least, it's that robot that I was umming and ahhing about with Hydra. But I went for this one in the end, and that is free shipping. And the reason why is because pretty much like what Sam said. In the last season, free shipping was a bit more of a novelty because it had the ridiculously over-the-top forklift. This time, it's very much original sin with basically a small weapon on there just to basically say it's a weapon. It's got a moving weapon. And I think that's the punch that made Original Sin. Well, no, there's no think about it. It is the punch that made Original Sin so good on the live circuit. This is basically Original Sin with a forklift attached to it now, and I think that will give it the extra potency it needs, and I think it will do well. So there you go. There's my top 16, lads.
Yeah.
Very neat.
Joe, I didn't realise this until the other day. I was going through the teams on the BattleBots website, and one of the guys from on the free shipping team is the builder of Voltark/Voltronic.
All right.
Yeah.
Stephen Phelps on that team?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? How did I not see that?
It's the guy with the beard on the left.
Oh Lord! Well, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, with the experience on that team now, like, you've got to fear them.
And none of our previews.
No one noticed it. No one noticed
He's
it.
the guy with the amazing voice, isn't he? He's the guy with the amazing voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that weird American accent which you can't pick up where it's actually from.
Oh my God, we're all really bad. He's right there.
Yeah, he's right there. It's amazing, but it's so great to see him back as well, for sure.
No, definitely. You can't keep him away.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. People don't. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who aren't big fans of Voltark because of I mean, yeah, fair play to him, but you have to admit he's one of the more
the OGs.
one of the better characters of the show, definitely.
Sure. I mean, he made Biohazard his bitch that one fight.
Exactly, and he's good fun. He's a good laugh.
Yeah.
He managed to get first class tickets on a flight because the flight attendant noticed he was from BattleBots. There you go.
Legend. Wow. What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah,
Steve. Hello.
Okay. Hi. Let's go through. I actually have a lot of duplicates, mostly because I'm going last.
All right.
But let's go through the ones that we all have.
Okay.
The ones that we all have are Cobalt.
Oh.
Whiplash. Minotaur. Bite Force. Saw Blaze.
Oh.
Free shipping. And Tombstone.
No, Daddy.
So those are the ones that we all have together, and I think we all. It's been explained enough that that was
steamy. That was steamy.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a lot of words at once. Wait till I start saying them backwards.
Jesus.
So here are the ones that Anderson picked that are also on my list. We have Quantum. I think Quantum will get in. I'd like to see more footage of it actually doing things outside of the Chinese scene, because I mean I've seen snippets of Spectre, and I'm impressed with the speed. I like the look of it. The weapon's strong. I do think this is one of those ones where I kind of bounced it in and out of my list a couple of times because I'm a little bit skeevy of putting it in because of what we've seen it do against a really tough kinetic energy spinner. But we'll see. I have Valkyrie in as well. I do think we saw a lot of teething issues last season, and I think they got them worked out. I do see it coming through a rumble of some kind. I think it's going to have a rough take of it, but I think it's going to sneak in. I may be wrong. Who knows? I also have Railgun Max because I'm impressed with the look of this robot. I really do think it's got a really sneaky chance. I think this is a sleeper for everybody. I don't see a lot of people talking about this robot, and I think they should be. It's definitely got the power. I've seen its test box footage. It's scary.
Yeah.
So what else do I have? Oh yeah, I also have Bronco.
Branco.
For lack of a better reason, I just have a hard time seeing it not just at least make the top 16. Maybe it doesn't go through because I think it's been exposed these past couple of seasons. It's tough for me to say it'll go far, but I think it's going to crack the top 16. I'll just leave it at that. So now the ones that Sam and I picked. So I have Duck going through. I think this time it's finally going to have its chance. It did not have a bad season last year. It really didn't. It had a lot of tough matches.
I mean, it only lost in the Rumble.
Yeah.
It only lost to Tombstone and Bronco.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's just. And it
there's
lost
no
to
disgrace
Bronco
there.
in the most spectacular way.
Yeah.
You know, the whole.
And you could argue it was winning two of those battles at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He got toasted against Bronco.
We love the toastering, man. That needs to be an actual thing on the card, like got toastered, TKO.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do see Duck going through. I wish him luck. I know there's a lot of bots that would love to carve into that aluminum shell, but we will see.
Yeah.
I also have Copperhead. That thing looks beefy. I have a hard time seeing it not crack the top 16. We'll have to see some fight footage, sure. And I do know that those wheels are exposed, but they're nylon core. I don't think they're just gonna fall off that robot. I sure hope that I'm right with saying that. Obviously, this has already happened, and people are not talking about it, obviously, because it's a show. But it's got a lot of good things going for it. The thing is made out of so much steel. It's just, I have a hard time seeing it not make it in, but we will see. As the as the promo footage shown on the front of BattleBots, I mean, it's getting pushed around by Gruff. I could be way wrong. Who knows? But let's take the final one that we have a duplicate of, and that's Shatter.
Oh, really?
I
You've
have
got that as
Shatter,
well.
yes. I have Shatter going in. I've seen Blue live. I saw it in Orlando.
Which was pink.
It was pink.
Blue is pink.
It's such a so they're so silly. Bots MC.
God damn.
So it's just a good looking machine. I needed a beta replacement basically. I do see of the hammers there. I think this one has the most chance of making it in. It's just got the drive and the Mecanum wheels. It's so cool to see live. Maybe I'm just blinded, but from seeing it live because it's just such a cool robot. But I think it has a really good shot of making it in. It's got the power. So now, all the duplicates, I'm at 14, I think. I have 2 that you guys did not say, which I'm surprised.
Interesting.
That's quite surprising, actually. To be fair. Only 2.
Only 2, yeah. So I have Lockjaw going in.
Ooh.
So I do think that he'll find a way, whether it's through a Rumble again.
By hook or by crook, Donald Hudson.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll get him in
Bribing
there.
the producers. There you go.
I'll be honest. This was my last one. I was mixing between Huge and Lockjaw. I bounced them in and out a bunch of times, and I stuck with Lockjaw because I have a hard time betting against Donald.
Sure.
It's just a little bit too hard to do for me. I don't know if it'll do as well as it did last year, making the Final Four, but I think it'll crack the top 16. I could be wrong.
If Lockjaw gets the top 4 again, I think that would be an amazing achievement.
Oh,
with the field like it is now as well, like that would be
He's
crazy.
a seasoned veteran as well to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
such an
exactly.
age. It's that would be cool. Anyway, and then my last one, and I guess you could include these in with Huge, where I was bouncing that in. I probably bounced him in with this one too, a couple of times, and that's Monsoon.
Ooh.
So I have Monsoon making the top 16. Maybe that's a bad idea, but it had a good season last year, and it had some good fights. Yeah, it did take a licking from Waiachi, and I still remember that. But I just this is how this was when it got really hard for me. The one it's funny how we've picked 2 of the ones that I had a hard time with putting in and taking out a whole bunch of times because there were so many good machines to put in their place. But if I got to stick with one, I got to stick with one, and this is just about as hard as the last time I tried to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So it's that's my final shout. You know, I think Monsoon's got a shot of making it in. Far, who knows?
I mean, with Monsoon, I think it's very, very capable. I mean, we saw that last season. You know,
Sure.
they've got some great expertise on the team as well with Rory as well now. You know, Tom's very experienced. He's gained experience over the last few years to go from Tauron to do a top 8 in BattleBots. You know, it's kind of crazy. From 8 seconds in Robot Wars to top 8 in BattleBots is kind of a big leap forward.
Yeah, I had a hard time because I know they're going to get a tougher card.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
You know?
My only fear for them is they have a tough draw.
See, Sam, that just shows that Robot Wars is superior to BattleBots. American robots don't.
You know,
don't
concussion
quite-
just turns up and
Exactly.
batters Tauron in
I
seconds.
wouldn't mind seeing, obviously it'd be renamed, but I wouldn't mind seeing a concussion BattleBots representative. That'd be awesome. Tim, stop joining other people and bring your own robot in for God's sake.
Concussion is best Robot Wars drum spinner.
Well, yeah, it is.
That's gonna get some bites.
Well,
With that said, we've all given our predictions. Obviously, we'd love to hear what you guys think as well. Who do you think is going to end up in the top 16? But there is one question that remains, chaps. Who's going all the way? Who is taking the title? Steve.
okay. And you're going to love me for this because it's one of your guys. I pick Cobalt.
Ooh.
Because from what I gather, this it just seems right. I mean, again, this is another. I don't know how to bet against Team Carbide. You know what I mean with this bot, and if it's able to self right like an aftershock, you know, like how you gonna knock this thing out without running your face first into it? You know what I mean? It's scary, and I think we're gonna see a lot of good fights out of it this year. Let's say it makes the Final Four, but I do think it has a good shot of winning.
Okay. So Steve is going for Cobalt to take the BattleBots Giant Nut in 2019. Anderson.
See, I'm just regretting actually making this my list because I literally am. My brain is leaking out my ears trying to think who I think is going to win. I agree with Steve saying Cobalt will make a top 4, probably even top 2. To be fair, oh Christ.
And this is funny because I've changed my pick between. I had another one winning weeks ago, and I think it's going to keep changing.
You know, I'm actually going to know. I contrary to what we said earlier, you know, with us running in there before the Brazilians, I actually think Minotaur have the chance this time around because they're just ridiculous, and
That's the one I've been bouncing between.
Yeah.
Oh really?
They've refined it so much. I can definitely see it. Again, it's definitely a top 4 worthy machine, if not again top 2. Against Cobalt, I think it might
That'd
be
a hell of a final.
It would be quite the final, wouldn't it? It'd be amazing.
It would be a great final. And I can.
It is so hard. It is so hard.
Everything up. I don't know. Jesus Christ. No, all right. Final say Minotaur. That's me. There
Minotaur.
Brazil love me. Brits hate me. I don't care. Minotaur.
So, for me, I ran it between 4 robots. 2 of which you both mentioned, Minotaur and Cobalt. I thought they were going to be up there. My third one, which I don't think is going to win this season, is Bite Force. I think it's going to be right up there again. You know, top 4. I just think there's going to be one robot that stands above all else, somehow winning it, and you guys are going to kind of think, what?
It's not Kingpin, is it?
It's free shipping.
Okay. Oh, actually, that's a very good point.
I've thought about this. You know, I've gone backward and forward over. You know, it's not Original Sin, but it's so close, and I think that
it's original robot do not steal.
Exactly, and I just think that free shipping has got something in it this season which is going to enable it to take it, because I mean last season it didn't get KO'd once.
Right.
Not once.
Yeah.
And
it's a tough machine.
Yeah, and it just will not die. And I think it's going to be slightly more effective that it can, you know, I think it can self-right, or it can at least self-right it to a position where it can run upside down.
It'll do the run into the wall thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing else.
So, probably against my better judgment, I'm going to go with free shipping to take the 2019 Giant Nut. Call me crazy.
I think that's perfectly reasonable, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we
think so too,
we both turned around and basically said it is literally Original Sin with a forklift on top of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, and you only need to see Robo games the past, I don't know, 7 or 8 years to see how good Original Sin's been. So
yeah.
I mean, again, easily a top 4 machine. I mean, to be honest, any of these robots could be top 4 machines. That's
they
the
could be.
annoying thing
Yeah,
with this
honestly, the field is so close. It's like, you know,
my
super
hair's
high level.
falling out over this. You know, it's.
I mean, you didn't have much hair left, to be fair, Anderson.
Oh, shut your fucking ears, mate. My hair's looking sexy now. I actually style it. So.
All right. Style it with a razor. With that said,
This
you know,
from a man whose nose is longer than Pinocchio's itself.
all right, we're gonna leave it there.
It sounded like it hurt.
Yeah, right in the feels, man. Anyway, we've gone backward and forward enough about, you know, who thinks going to win. Who do you guys think is going to win? Let us know in the comments, or, you know, let us know somehow, however you can.
Please.
We're really excited to see how. Well, or don't. Yeah, it's up to you guys. We will be covering the live episode as and when we can. We don't know when it will be, but we will cover it, I think. So
we know it's not going to be recorded by Twitch itself, but we'll try to find a way to get it.
Yeah, we'll find a way. Trust me, we'll find a way.
Because we're going to want to watch it a couple times to get our ideas straight.
Yeah, exactly.
We will find a completely legal
and legitimate way of watching it.
Legitimate way of watching it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you worry. But I'm really excited for the season to start. You know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, I think this is going to be the season to end all seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. I think we can all agree that if this was the last BattleBot season for a long time, or ever, in fact, we could go to bed happy.
Yeah, absolutely,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Oh,
I hope it's not the case. Obviously, you know, we
Obviously, I don't. No one wants that to be the case.
yeah. Touch wood,
But,
we'll see many more seasons of BattleBots to come. But you know,
it's
if
like season 10 with Robot Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just sort of seriously with Robot Wars. You know, okay, we want more, but hey, I'm happy.
what a way to go, what a way to go, sort of
It
thing.
ended
Yeah,
well.
yeah, exactly.
Apart from the winner.
Oh, come on. It was a great final. Let's be real
It
here.
was a great final. I'm not taking that away from it at all.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, with that said, I've been Sam at 64.
I'm an answer 932 the Robot Wars Guru.
And I've been Steve, the American Killjoy.
Oh shit, we've been calling you Steve all episode, haven't we? Sorry, Ian.
Oh,
That's all right,
sorry,
mate.
Ian, mate. You know,
Love you guys.
yeah. And we'll see you on Sunday for the first episode review. How exciting is that? We'll see you then. Bye bye.